Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner. This week in the Royal Corner, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, releases a behind-the-scenes cameo video featuring Princess Lilibet on Instagram and gets 182,000 likes, as well as increasing her Instagram account by 900,000 new followers. Duchess of Sussex as ever Rosé release date coincides with Princess Diana's birthday. We also have King Charles, the Follow Fashion King, offering a discount on his High Grove wine collection that nobody is buying or interested in. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, Doolittle, Boo Boo Kitty Katie, has simmering tensions with the King Bitter himself, as well as his well-connected media-savvy side salad wannabe Queen Camilla, over her absence at Ascot and the subsequent media fallout. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, we have the principal leech in waiting, the green-eyed king, telling everybody about his reign before his dad's foot is even cold in the grave, going to the Earthshot Prize. We also have Sycophant of the Week. All this and more on the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner. Before I jump into the show, I wish to say a big thank you to all the people who have donated. I have not got everybody's name, but when I dropped my video, this lady gave me $1.99, which was lovely. And the previous video that I did before that, someone gave me $19, $10, $5 and £5 And I'm going to say your names, but if I'm honest with you, I haven't got your names in a list in front of me to say thank you. And I will do that in the future. So thank you so much to those people who've made a donation. I really appreciate that. And also thank you to all of the people who left some really lovely heartfelt messages because my cat passed away last week, Tuesday. Everyone was very sympathetic and they've been really, really supportive. So thank you to everybody who reached out to me in this difficult time. I will also beg you for your patience on this occasion and for the next few weeks as I kind of get through and acclimatise to the loss of my dearly beloved Dexter. Now that thankful news and gratitude news is over, I also would like to direct you to my website, which is deniseheadley.com, where you can make a donation as well as making a donation on the website. Also, I would be very partial to free wings and chips, which I had on Monday. It was very tasty. Or you might want to buy me something from your country of origin where I would love to eat the entire selection of your menu. In addition to that, people, can you believe this? Yes, I've already hit my goal. I have got over 1,500 subscribers, people. I think when I looked, it was like 1,550 something. But I'm clearly in the 1555 section or almost close to it. I'm aiming to get to 2,000. And after 2,000, my aim is 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, and then 1 million. One doesn't want to aim low, does one? So thank you for your returning ears. And let's jump straight into the show, shall we, darlings? There's so much to chew over. Right. So, darlings, our very first story this week is Princess Lilibet makes a surprise cameo in Duchess Sussex's behind-the-scenes Instagram video. And this was, to me, a very lovely good news story. And I'm always keen to start my show with good news about the Sussexes. So just a little context, if you've been living under a rock for the last, 4 or 5 weeks, the Duchess of Sussex launched another restock of her As Ever products, and they basically just flew off the shelf. You had the usual detractors talking about how her jam was runny or how they were using their carts to store items so that they could sabotage what was happening on the website. But as per usual, their efforts failed miserably. And the Duchess released a thank you video. And then she also later this week released the video with the cameo with Lilibet. And the two of them were pictured on a lovely bridge. Lilibet had, I think it was like a little umbrella parasol. And it was all about the brand building and the stories, because that's what sells these brands and this whole idea of Meghan's brand as ever. It's also the stories behind it. So the video was part of the behind the scenes story, so people could see how thoughtful she was when she was planning things, when she was looking at the packaging. And that in itself was a video that had got 182 likes, which is fabulous. And in addition to that family, oh, that's such a nice thing to say. In addition to that family community who enjoy the Royal Corner, she has had 900,000 new followers as a consequence of the baby mama video, and also, you know, that's had 58 million views, but also she grew her Instagram following exponentially, and I was very pleased about that. And then this video dropped, we all enjoyed it, and you know, especially given where the world is at the moment, this was a really nice behind the scenes footage of her and her family. Also, darlings, in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, Duchess of Sussex as ever Rosé release dates coincides with Princess Diana's birthday. So the Duchess is launching a rosé on the 1st of July, which basically is in about 96 or so hours, actually a bit longer than that. The date is very significant as it marks the day when Meghan and Harry first connected in 2016, and it would have been on what was Princess Diana's 55th birthday, and this was revealed in Harry's memoir Spare. The new rosé wine has been described as having soft notes of fruit, gentle minerality, and a lasting finish. I am yet to taste it, but then again, I can say I am not really a rosé fan. I'm much more a Malbec and a Shiraz. But the important thing for me about this adventure, let's call it an adventure, this new adventure for the Sussexes is the potential for what I was discussing with Mum, that it's going to be on the shelf in Tesco next to Snoop Dogg's wine. That's what we're talking about, people. Think about the market penetration, especially if other wines are released in the series. I predict that it's going to fly off the shelves in the similar fashion to everything else that has the Duchess Meghan factor attached to it. When it launches on the same day, if she was still with us, that Harry's mum would have been 64, I think that's going to give the product a greater emotional connection to so many people, because Princess Diana is still very much in the hearts of very many people. In a recent interview, the Duchess spoke about how the business ventured had effectively sparked a honeymoon period with her and her husband. And boy, doesn't it show. And boy, doesn't it show for the green-eyed king and boo-boo Doolittle Kitty Katie. Anyway, this was a really good news story, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the launch goes. And obviously, I will be keeping you posted, darlings. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, King Charles, the follow fashion king, and King Bitter offering a discount code on his deadbeat, no sale, low grade, is it High Grove? I think it's Low Grove wine collection that nobody wants. And you know exactly why this was done, because when the Duchess's wine flies off the shelf like white on rice, they need to have some piddly story that his pithy, uninteresting, vinegar tasting product got some 0, possibly 3 sales. This is the reason for that, and I'm going to delve a little more into it. So, darlings, in one's research, as you would expect, I also look at other creators. And this particular creator, she does trend talks. She made reference to an article, but I haven't been able to find the article. So I'm just going to read from the picture and from what I can decipher because of what she shared. So essentially, this is English Wine Week, and a group or a company called Group Gardens were trying to promote the sales of English wines. And they featured the High Grove Sparkling Rosé, the King's Vinegar with Bubbles, dry as the Sahara, no doubt, acrid on the tongue, and possibly causing burns when swallowed. And I laughed at this because I thought to myself, here they are talking about the irrelevance of the Sussexes and of the Duchess. And just in the same week as her Rosé, follow fashion king, her Rosé is about to launch with on Princess Diana's birthday, significant to the couple's romance. You have an offer with a discount code on your rather flaccid Rosé, crafted in Kent. No doubt. I mean, swoon. I'm sure the website was overwhelmed with absolutely zero inquiries. And I thought I'd bring that to you because, you know, I do enjoy showing just how devoid of any imagination this collection of taxpayer grifter leeches are. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, Boo Boo Doolittle Kitty Katie has simmering tensions with the king and his side salad, media savvy, better connected, call me queen whenever I get a chance, adulteress turned queen, wannabe queen, wife, because she did not turn up at Ascot. Now, this story in itself also features Sycophant of the Week. And there's also another element which I want to bring to you, but I'm going to chew all over that as we get there. Patience, darlings, patience. Unless you have been frozen in a cryonics pod, the absence of Doolittle, Boo Boo Kitty Katie has featured rather strongly this week in the headlines. Let me just provide a little context, darlings. The Doolittle Duchess bailed for some reason on Ascot and embarrassed the king, as well as the side salad, side piece, come from a line of side salad and side pieces. It's in your bloodline, Camilla, in front of everybody. And later during the course of the week, the mouthpiece of the Doolittle Duchess, Hello Magazine, released a significant spread, Ingrid Seaward, talking about the difficulties that she faced. I'm going to come to that later because she is so up for Sycophant of the Week, Ingrid. And there were sumptuous numbers of headlines from royal supporters such as GB News and the Daily Beast, all having a jab at the Duchess, in their coded way, of course. And this article is making reference to that. It says, Kate Middleton and the King's simmering tensions as Kate is trying to break away. If you recall, she was recalibrating, a bit like an engine after an MOT, shiny new and full of pistons. Working on full throttle. Stop it, Denise. Okay, sorry. Right, the point I'm making is that this article is talking about simmering tensions, and that was the context within which I am bringing this story to you. It reads, Kate Middleton pulled out of Ascot on the 17th of June at the last minute, despite being on the guest list for the carriage procession. The Princess of Wales was allegedly trying to strike a balance between her royal duties, getting enough downtime as she recovers from cancer. And guys, you know I covered the cancer card last week. My girl be drawing for that thing, like a roadman running from his competitors. Yeah, she's drawing for the cancer card. However, according to this article, a royal source, and we know there ain't no royal sources, it's just him and a side piece briefing the newspapers, said that her withdrawal from the event did not sit well with the king. They claimed her absence made the king appear disrespected, drawing attention to simmering tensions behind closed doors. Now, the mere fact that this article is even making reference to her being allegedly trying to strike a balance tells you that the tides are somewhat turning on the Doolittle Duchess. It's clear to anybody who has functioning retinas that there's a problem in the marriage. Rose Hanbury, the other family, only a few doors down the road. One does not need to be a rocket scientist to clearly see that any time the indolent queen is in a very short radius, 2 millimeter radius of her husband, there is no contact. They don't touch each other. They hardly ever smile. Her face is always in a grimace, as if somehow she may be experiencing constipation. She clearly looks uncomfortable. And I don't think she wants to play queen anymore. Or should I say, she wants to be queen, but on her own terms. Does that sound familiar? Of course it sounds familiar, because that was the front page of Hello magazine and the article by Ingrid Seaward, who this week enters in with the pole position of Sycophant of the week. Do come in, Ingrid, darling. Take a seat, Ingrid, right at the front. We don't want you to miss anything at all. So before I delve into why Ingrid Seaward's contribution qualifies her this week for the pole position of Sycophant of the Week, I want to say a few things. First of all, doing it on your own terms is a phrase that the follow fashion indolent queen has taken from Meghan, because she talked about that in her podcast. And everything the Duchess does, she does, because she realizes that instead of being an ally to the Duchess, you are a beneficiary of the racism and sexism and misogynoir that she experienced, and classism. You benefited from it. You never spoke up for the Duchess. You allowed yourself to be used. And in the customary fashion of that group attack on the new person, which was the Duchess at the time, and of course Harry, because he was always on the outside, you thought you would rise at her expense. And oh, how the tables have turned. Now, this whole issue of the simmering tensions, yes, I'm going to get back to Ingrid Seaward, I think has the hands of both the king and the side salad on it. And I'll tell you why. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually put her down for an event, knowing full well she was going to bail, to make her look bad. The king and the side piece do not want anyone to outshine them. They need a docile, pretty-looking incubator for the next round of heirs, so the grift continues. That's always been the role of royal women. When you don't fit that mold, you're ostracized. Princess Diana and Duchess of Sussex, examples in point. King Charles is supposed to be presiding over a reduced monarchy, but the fact is, him and the side piece, she's a mature side piece, yeah? She's not fresh, people, yeah? Her knees can't be moving like those young knees of the future queen. And the reality is, the future queen and the future king are lazy. They don't even want to do the job. They want the perks, right? They want to live their billionaire lifestyle and just come out, can't even string 2 sentences together, and want to keep wandering around the world, starting little mini businesses and talking about their philanthropy. That's what they want to do. But they can't do that, because there's a lot of strain now on the royal household. Notice how they're drafting in every hanger-on, every leech, every concubine's auntie's friend, or everyone's getting in on the game now. You know what I'm saying? You know, it doesn't matter who your dad is, what he was doing with, you know, very disgusting friends, Epstein. Oh yeah, everyone's coming in now, because there's a lot of strain. And these two are effectively the new products of the future. And the point is, no one wants to buy that. And I think personally, they were trying to shame them into action. And the Doolittle Duchess is trying her to, as she says, she's recalibrating, okay? It's on her own terms. She's not being a people pleaser. This is all what Ingrid Seaward wrote in her article. And I think that they put her potentially in that space because they are trying to show her, you either fall in line or you go like the rest of them. Yeah, that's what I think. The rest of those women who didn't comply. So now I'm going to bring in Ingrid's article, because after she did not comply, we saw this big spread in Hello, and enter in once again. I think Ingrid may have gone for a few crisps. Ingrid, maybe you could not have those crisps. It might be better for your heart. Yeah, don't leave the crisps, Ingrid. I'll bring you some vegetable flakes. They're baked, not fried, Ingrid. Thank you for rejoining us, Ingrid. Take a seat. Ingrid Seaward from Hello magazine. She writes, despite looking healthy and happy, earlier in the week at the Garter Day procession at Windsor Castle, which came hot on the heels of her appearance at Trooping the Colour, it seems that a full day out in her finery may have been a little too much for the princess when the time came. Can you honestly believe that that is an explanation for her absence? Ingrid is performing the function of kidneys as she filters so deeply and sincerely for the Duchess in this occasion on this article. She's basically saying a full day out for the Duchess Doolittle is just too much for her. She continues, Kate might be back, but she's doing it sensibly and on her own terms. She is the editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine and she tells hello. Her priorities have changed and she's listening to her body instead of being a people pleaser. Once again, language robbed from the Duchess in previous podcasts and broadcasts. She must be strict with herself and say, no, I can't do this. Stand by for the filtration exercise. Gathering pace. Maybe we have been lulled into a sense that we will be seeing her all the time because she looks so amazing. But it must be an effort to look like that when you're not at 100% full energy. Ascot is more exhausting than it looks. It involves an early start. And then there's the long process community of hair, makeup, getting the right outfit. And of course, there's the lunch in advance where she possibly would have to eat something. Ingrid writes, it was a very hot day and she probably just didn't feel up to it with the whole world looking at you. Ingrid needs to get a BA honours in bum suckery, a bachelor's degree in sycophantry. You trying to tell the average reader who has 3 jobs and possibly a myriad of children and who knows whether they have a partner or not, that getting up early in the morning, having somebody else dress you, having your hair and makeup done is absolutely exhausting? Really? It beggars belief that your pen and your brain conjured up this collection of drivel. And as the editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine telling hello, in a snub to every single parent working 3 jobs, you get Sycophant of the week because you thoroughly deserve it. And you've done more damage to the Doolittle Duchess with your out-of-touch article than you can possibly imagine. And for that, darling, you get Sycophant of the week. Thank you so much. To Ingrid of Majesty magazine telling hello. You get this week's Sycophant of the week. Do not write anything else for all our sakes. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, we have the King Leech in Waiting, somewhat annoying the King. So there've been a number of articles about what the Leech in Waiting, the indolent king, plans to do when he wants to assume the throne so that he can have a lifetime of absolute luxury and doing absolutely nothing. And he keeps talking about that, how he's going to reform the monarchy. But I've also picked up that the king is upset that he keeps talking about his reign, stealing the headlines from him who's currently in the job. There are countless articles, and this one here is by Bronte Coy of news.com.au, and she talks about Prince William's plans for the future, and they've been laid bare, like anybody's interested in that. Unless you're talking reparations, nobody's interested in this stuff. There's also loads of articles that when he becomes king, once again upsetting his father, who's not even had the pennies put into his eyes, let alone removed from his eyes, he keeps talking about the Duchess and Prince Archie and how they won't be working roles and they're not going to have royal titles. He constantly uses them as a battering ram to center himself. And this is, everyone sees it. He's a very jealous person, in my opinion. And he's riddled with envy of Harry because he would love his wife, but he's stuck with Waity Katie. But that's another thing, people. Did you see the articles talking about them being divorced? I saw it in, it was in a French magazine. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Now, this article I'm making reference to is featured in a lifestyle section, but I cannot get the actual proper receipt, but it's from a creator. And the creator was basically saying that The article makes reference to Kate Middleton and Prince William make it clear that their relationship is broken. And the article was printed in French and English. And I think it's in a French lifestyle magazine, but I couldn't find it. But I thought that was interesting, given all of the commentary that's been had about her not being an Ascot. I know I'm digressing because I'm supposed to be talking about Earthshot. Oh my God, this is going on long. So let me jump back to Earthshot. Right, the Green-Eyed King was with Jason Korf at the Earthshot Prize, and he's going to be going to Rio. But of course, Duchess Doolittle, Boo Boo Kitty Katie, won't be present. No, she'll probably be far too exhausted with the hair, the nails, the makeup, and the heat, and the natives to attend that. But I'm sure she'll be at the cooler location in Wimbledon. Yes, I'm sure she's going to make an appearance for that, darling. Just after, or probably before she has another little holiday. So in summary, darlings, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the show this week. Shall we have a quick roundup? This week on the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner, we had the behind-the-scenes Instagram video that got 182,000 likes of the Duchess of Sussex with Princess Lilibet. We also have the release of the Duchess's As Ever Rosé scheduled for the 1st of July, the same day as Princess Diana's birthday. We also had the Follow Fashion King Bitter, releasing a promo code so people would buy his vinegar-like, acrid, dry, Sahara-tasting rosé, which nobody is going to buy from his Highgrove brand that nobody even pays attention to. Then I discussed all over the reason that Boo Boo Doolittle Kitty Katie has withdrawn from Ascot. I chewed over some of the background, put forward a few theories, but essentially she is the follow fashion queen and she's in trouble with the firm. And then we also had Sycophant of the Week. Enter stage left Ingrid Seaward and her awful article that done more damage to the Duchess than she can possibly realise. I also chewed all over the Earthshot Prize and the fact that the Green-Eyed King plans on doing things very different from his father, but he just can't wait for him to kick the bucket effectively. And he keeps talking about it. And that was it, darling. So I hope you enjoyed the show. God, it was a long slog today, people. It's next few weeks, as I said, it's going to be difficult because I'm mourning my darling Dexter. But aside from that, I know he's here with me and he enjoyed the show this week. So I'll see you next week. Thank you for your listening ear. Please make a donation and cut.